Wow.
Hey, it's Jered.
What's up, man?
Nothing, dude. How's it going?
Oh, pretty good.
Yeah,
It's
we were talking about.
it's like
Go
80
ahead.
degrees in Florida, just so you know.
Shut up. It's
What's the temperature in Alaska?
-10. Like
Oh,
I Oh man, I can hear my audio in your microphone.
I'll turn you down.
Yeah. I think all things considered, it's been a pretty easy winter. I'm not outside this winter, so I don't really have a direct feel, but like we haven't really hit those like 20 below plus. It's kind of been like 0 to 10 below for like months. At least that's my perception of it. I mean, I don't really go out there anymore, but that's what I see in the truck when I'm driving in, dropping the kids off.
Yeah. I used to think that anything under 0, actually, I used to be like 10 below. Anything under 10 below is too cold.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, anything under like 10 degrees is too cold. And if it's colder than like 70, there better be some snow on the ground or something.
I think we've gotten a fair bit of snow, but I haven't like been snowboarding or anything this year. Just because with all the kids, it's hard to like nail that down. And it's like in my mind, it's like, oh, going snowboarding once is like fun, but it's almost like purposeless because it's like, oh, I went once, so what'd you do? Or I like by the end of the day, I was like back to where I was, and I'm never gonna go again.
You'll pick up right where you left off. You'll be surprised.
I know. It would be fun. Maybe we'll go in like next month because then it'll be nice and be warm.
I keep thinking the same thing as you. I keep thinking I'm gonna go. Like I've been thinking we should go on a vacation or something, go snowboard, a snowcation. And I keep thinking I'm gonna go and then not remember how to snowboard. I'm gonna spend the whole vacation trying to remember how to snowboard, but I'm pretty sure it just come back to me.
Yeah, you'd get it in like the second run, or even like down the first run. You'd get to the bottom and be like, "Oh yeah, I remember how to do all this."
Yeah.
What
snowboarding?
What about with like your leg though? Like, how's your recovery going?
Oh, dude, I don't think I could snowboard right now.
Yeah,
not with my leg.
Probably
it's less my leg and more like my hip joint, because they like cut right through my. They cut right through my. I don't know, my hip flexor. Like I can feel this muscle or this tendon or something that's way bigger on my right leg than on my left leg, and it's right in my hip joint. And they just cut right through that sucker. And so anywhere where they cut, it's like the muscles are taking way longer to get back together.
Yeah, that makes sense. For everybody who doesn't know, Jered did a cool one-wheel trick and then totally bit it. And by that, I mean he was just going as fast as it could go, and they have this tendency to buck you when you go too fast. And then that's what happened to Jered. And he like
did.
And then bucked you up good, dude. And then it broke. What'd you do? You broke your hip? Is that what happened?
I broke like the ball of your femur. So your femur, when it comes up on the top, it kind of makes this slight curve. And then there's this big ball that like locks into your hip joint. I literally broke that ball in half. So that whole ball just snapped in half, kind of vertically this way, like up and down.
Yeah. Wow. Do you think that's just because you just like hit the ground so hard that it just like...
Dude, I hit really hard. And my hip was the first thing to hit. It was
and that took all the pressure of your... What were you going, 20 miles an hour?
So as fast as it would go, so probably something like that. I don't really know.
Yeah. But hey, you're here and you're not on crutches, so that's awesome.
I'm here, I'm not on crutches, and I didn't die. So that's a plus.
Yeah. But did you die?
Dude, it's got me rethinking how I go about pretty much everything.
Interesting.
Like I don't want to say it was a near death experience, because
it
probably wasn't. Could I have died if I hit my head? Probably. But and I've had this conversation with you, but it's the recovery time, like how much time it's taken to go in for surgery, and then a month of sitting on the couch, basically sleeping, eating, sitting on the couch, only getting up to go to the bathroom. And then I think I was on crutches for 3.5 months.
Yeah.
And then I've been off of them for a month, and I still am not walking normal, but I'm getting there. Right. I imagine like full recovery, probably probably full recovery. It's probably a year.
Yeah. Get all your muscles back.
back
Yep.
to the physical shape I was in last year when I
Yep.
broke my
Oh
leg.
yeah. Yeah. At
Yeah.
least a year. A year if you're
Yeah.
like doing all the right things and you're getting after it pretty good.
Yeah. And then like you break your leg and it stops you from doing a lot of stuff. So, like I can't go work out my upper body because my leg, right? I don't want to
Yep.
grab a bunch of weights and work out my upper body. Everything has to be sitting down.
Yeah.
So it really kind of hinders you a little bit.
Yeah.
It's worse than breaking your arm or something.
That made me think of, as like the providers in our households, I
Mm-hmm.
think it's really important to have a diverse income stream, because if you were just doing plumber stuff, dude,
Yeah.
what would you do?
Oh, I'd have been screwed. But I wouldn't have been going 20 miles an hour on my one wheel either.
Oh, really? Did
Right?
so if you were still just plumber Jared, would you have not gone that fast on your one wheel? Like, would you have made that calculation like, I can't do risky stuff because I have to go to work tomorrow?
Maybe. I don't know. I have no idea.
I kind of think you wouldn't. Just knowing you, I kind of think you would still go 20 miles on your one wheel. Because I mean,
Thanks.
if you think about it from your perspective, like, there's no reason why it should have went bad. Like, you didn't do anything improper. Your one wheel just malfunctioned and kicked you off. So,
Well,
like,
I don't know if it was the one wheel's fault or if it was my fault or if a little bit of both. I have no
sure.
idea. It definitely was unexpected, and I don't know if I would have done it. Like maybe 5 years ago, when my family totally relied on my income, I think I may have like chilled out a little bit.
Sure, maybe just not gone as fast.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
yeah. I
Yeah,
wonder what Christelle would say. She'd be the final word on this.
she'd be pissed.
Well, I mean, if she would
Oh,
think that you would
she'd
go
tell you no
fast.
way. He still would have done it,
Yeah, okay, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
probably.
Yeah,
But I didn't
but
really get hurt until I don't know until I didn't really get hurt myself ever until she started working. And I think I got a little freer with like, I can hurt myself a little bit now,
oh
and it
my
won't, it
gosh,
won't
oh,
be
I
such
could
a
do a
big
little bit
deal.
more cool stuff,
Yeah, I can miss a month of work, no big deal, right?
Yeah, Christelle's working. It's easy
Yeah,
peasy.
we're double insured. The
Yeah.
couple $100,000 hospital bills, no big deal.
Yeah, no big deal. I can start working on that backflip I was practicing off my house, It's
Yeah,
just
totally.
that's funny.
Yep.
But
I've
still,
had a pretty good last couple of years though, as far as hurting myself, because
yeah.
I broke my finger almost completely off, and then I guess my ankle wasn't really anybody's fault. It just kind of like took a
Yeah,
poop, but got
it's
ankle
just a thing.
surgery, had all that recovery,
Mm,
and then broke my
hmm.
head.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
but it's still like it still presses in the point that like we should be concerned if we only have one stream of income.
yeah, we definitely
And
should.
or if you don't have like a bunch of savings or something, like Dave Ramsey will be like, gotta get a year of savings in there. And it's for
Mhm.
this specific reason, because you don't know, like your finger, for example, like it didn't really, you were still working with your finger, but it just sucked because you had
Yeah,
to do everything a little differently. But that was the total freak thing. You just got your finger slammed in a door.
yeah,
So,
but I
um,
missed a month of work, and it cost
sure,
me 20 grand.
sure.
So, I mean, luckily, Christelle was working at the time. It was before my business took off.
Mm,
I was still working for somebody. So,
yep.
yeah, that would have been bad. If she wasn't
Yeah.
working and we didn't have insurance, that would have been bad.
Yeah.
Because we would have had to
Yeah.
pay that whole 23,000 out of pocket. That would have just killed my savings at the time, and then I would have been out of work for a month. That would have been rough.
Man. Yeah. I wonder how many people can just like eat a huge medical bill and go out of work for a month on their own income. Like
Yeah.
I know I couldn't, like, oh, I don't know, a year ago, depending on where
Mhm.
my savings were. A year ago I
Right.
could probably do it, but like a year before that, no way.
Mhm.
And so what are like some, so if you're a bit like, so if you're a plumber, maybe you're a plumbing business owner, is
Uh,
it, would you recommend trying to diversify income streams?
in the beginning, I wouldn't think so. Like, if you're just starting out in your business, you probably need to put all your chips in on one thing
Yeah, that makes sense.
and really focus and really double down on one thing to
Mm-hmm.
get it going and making money until it gets to a point where you've either grown it to where you want it or to where it's just you can't grow it anymore. Like grow it to a
Sure.
point where it makes sense to where it's to stop.
Sure. Yeah, that
Because
makes sense.
like I think about me, like when I was growing Prospector, had I gone, ooh, I'm a year in, I made a little bit of money, I'm gonna go invest in real estate now. That would have been the worst move ever. It would have taken
Sure.
my focus off of it. It would have taken financial stuff that I needed for my other business or for Prospector.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's probably pretty important to just pick one thing and go all in on that one thing until you're at a point where you have the time and the resources to be able to go into other things.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Well, cool. So we were talking about, it was like a couple of weeks ago. I can't remember how long ago it was, but we were talking about like when you start your plumbing business, these are the things you need to do. And so I
Yeah.
think we should continue that conversation because that was just the very beginning step. When we just left off with like, you get all your proper licensing,
Hmm.
you hire a bookkeeper.
Yep.
What else did we say? Um,
Get a logo.
yep, get a logo. Yep,
Got your minimum viable product. So you
yep,
can take a phone call. You can write down the information. You can go to the job and you can complete the work and then take
yes,
payment, right? That'd be
yeah,
your minimum viable product.
yeah. So what do we do? So now we're there. So now what do we do? What should we be thinking about?
So hopefully at that point you've got like some sort of marketing in place, I would imagine. At least hopefully like I mean if you're a plumbing business, are we talking just plumbing business?
Well, we could branch off, but let's just keep it with the plumbing because that's sort of the example that we have.
Hmm.
But if we want to branch out into just business in general or other businesses, we can do that.
Okay. So if you're a plumbing, I mean, I guess if you're any business, like when you start out, you're going to go get a website, a Google My Business profile, um, that kind of stuff. Very like
Does
minimal base
should
level marketing.
should every business have a Google My Business?
No, I don't think so. Like Coca-Cola doesn't have one, right?
Sure,
And it wouldn't really make sense.
sure.
But if you're a service-based business where people are going to be searching your services on the internet, your
Hmm.
Google My Business is like the most powerful tool in your arsenal
Gotcha.
because it's where people find you on Google. So you get listed in the map pack. Google knows that you want people to search for your services. Um, so it's super powerful. Like that's probably the most powerful thing you can do is just get a Google My Business, put some pictures on there, some information, and get a few reviews. And all of a sudden, you'll get work just from that.
Oh wow.
And it's
Gotcha.
free. So you can't
Oh
really go
wow.
wrong.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's just
And
a matter of setting it up.
yeah.
So, but
Hmm.
I would say, like, once you've got all that stuff set up, let's assume you're one man in a van and you've got a name, a logo, maybe you've got a little bit of stickers on your van, you've got a little bit of marketing going, then it's time to like really get serious. So I think we ended on probably like get to work, go get in the van and go
Right.
make some
Yeah.
money, right?
Yep. Get
And
a little money in the savings. Yeah.
start stacking away a little bit of money, assuming you started with nothing.
Yes.
And then like I remember me, I stacked away 80 grand, which sounds like a lot of money, but it stacked up really fast.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was like a 4 month period where that just stacked up. And I
Mm-hmm.
didn't really like it stacked up while I was getting all that other stuff in place.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that could be a possibility as well, depending on how
Mm-hmm.
busy you can get, how much work you can get, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but you need to stack up some cash because the next thing you're going to need to do is invest in like more robust systems, people, softwares,
Mm-hmm.
better logos, better branding, that kind of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to take cash up front. And
Right. Right.
you're going to have to spend the cash, watch it disappear to be able to buy the thing that then makes your business grow and do better. This is
Mm-hmm.
where
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people don't understand, especially like the marketing aspect. Like, oh, I have to be willing to spend 20 grand this month in order to get the work to keep people busy, right?
Right. Sure.
And so you have to like spend that money, watch it disappear so that you can go do the work to make it back.
Hmm. Gotcha.
So it's that first initial investment takes cash, whether that's credit cards or cash, whatever, depending on how risky you are, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, like me personally, like if I had to do it all over again and I didn't have any cash, I would be more than willing to take a marketing budget and put it on a credit card because I'm 100% certain that marketing is going to get me jobs, and then I'm going to be able
Right.
to go to that job and make a profit, and it's going to pay for the marketing.
Right.
So I know that from experience. So it's easy for me to go,
Sure.
oh,
Yeah. Because you have that
100%.
experience. You can
I'll
trust
make
that
that
system.
bet. I'll make that bet any day, right?
Yeah.
Somebody who doesn't have that experience, maybe it seems a little risky, a little scary, but if you've got the cash and it's just a matter of watching your cash go away, that's a little less scary.
Mm-hmm.
It can be hard, like as somebody who grew up and is a plumber. They likely didn't grow up in a wealthy house where they think
Mm-hmm.
about money differently. So usually you come from a
Mm.
house where they have kind of a money's limited. There's a limited amount of money and I need to
Mm-hmm.
save it, right?
Right.
And really, when you're in business, you need to come at it with the mindset of abundance of, there's plenty of money around. There's plenty of money for the getting, and that
Right.
saving it doesn't really actually get me money. Like holding on to it really doesn't do me
Right.
any good. If I take the money I have and I invest it into something that's going to make me more money, like marketing, then that would be a good use of your money because you know that there's way more money out there. I just have to go
Sure.
get it. And to go
Sure.
get it, I need to do this marketing, right?
Sure.
So there's a little bit of a mindset shift there. You have to shift your mindset into going, okay, I'm okay with this money disappearing and never coming back. Not
Mm-hmm.
never coming back, but I know that if I spend this money now on this, there's a really good chance it's going to make me way more money in the future.
Right.
And that's a tough one for guys to see. Like they want to see their bank account continually build up as they're building their business, but the reality is you're going to build it up
Right.
and then you're going to blow it all. And then you're going to build
Right.
it up and you're going to blow it all, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you have to make those moves in order to keep growing your business.
Yeah.
So we didn't really answer the question though. So
Well, but we gave good information on like sort of the background of where we're going with the question's answer. Like the background is like, okay, now you need marketing so that you can continue to get jobs. You got money in the bank, you're going to spend money on it. So the background is like, hey, you're going to have to spend money on this, but it's going to come back to you.
Yeah. So either go store some cash or get credit cards, right?
Yeah.
One of the two. Probably cash would be your least risky bet. So then I would say probably next best move. Like I always tell everybody to think of their plumbing business in 4 pillars. And you've probably heard me talk about this. We've probably talked about it on the podcast, but basically you have, marketing, and then you have, we'll call it conversions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then then you have equipment and tools, and then you have your team. And those are
Mm-hmm.
the 4 pillars of your plumbing business that you have to grow while you're growing it, right? And you kind of need to
Mm-hmm.
grow them all in this organic fashion. So ideally, you would go do marketing, which would get you phone calls. And then you would go over to your conversion pillar and you would build your conversion pillar so that you can take those phone calls and turn them into book jobs. And then you would build your, equipment and tools so that you can go do the book job. And then you would build your team so that your team can use the tools and equipment to go fulfill on the job. And you would lead right back to marketing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but like all those need to grow simultaneously or real close to that. Okay.
Yeah.
So imagine, so you can dump money into your marketing, right off the bat, and you're going to get a ton of calls. But then if you don't have a way to convert those calls into book jobs, whether that's yourself or a CSR or whatever, then you're not going to be able to book jobs. So the marketing doesn't do you any good. So you kind of have to grow those at the same time. Right.
Right.
So in the beginning, you spend money on marketing, you can handle answering your phones. But as soon as you're getting like a couple phone calls a day, like not very many, 3 phone calls a day, if you're consistently working, I would personally hire somebody to answer my phone first before I hired anybody else, before I did anything else. That's what I would do. Just because that frees up your brain power.
Sure.
Right? So if you're answering all the phones and you're keeping the schedule and you're keeping track of all the jobs and the customers and all that stuff, that just clogs up your brain, clogs up your day. And if you can put that on somebody else
Mm.
and then not even look at your schedule and just take it one job at a time or one day at a time, you're going to be way freer to like go make more money and then grow these other two pillars that you have, right?
Mhm.
So that'd probably be the next step. I'd probably hire I would probably hire, depending on like how many the call volume, I would either hire a CSR would be step 2, or I would hire a proper marketing company. Like a marketing
Sure,
company that
yeah.
you put on retainer. So you're paying them
Sure.
a regular monthly fee. Like those two things are one of the first two steps you're going to want to do. Depending on how much money you have, what your call volume is, you just have to
Mhm.
decide. Should I hire a CSR or should I hire a marketing company first? If you need call
Mhm.
volume, marketing company first. If you have the call volume, CSR, then marketing company.
Hmm.
That's what I would do.
I have one comment on the freeing up your mind part, which I think is so important because again, as the business owner, you need your mind devoted to growing the business. And if your mind
Yeah.
is just sucked into doing the work, then you're going to be stuck in doing the work longer than you want. And you're going to
Yes.
forget that this isn't actually your role. Your role as this new plumbing business owner is to not be the plumber. So to
Right.
get there is the goal. So if your mind is just constantly thinking about this job and this person and these conversations and this call, you actually can't think about like the 4 pillars as you say. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that people really shouldn't we'll just say they shouldn't sleep on that idea. They shouldn't think that they can, I can think of all this stuff at the same time. It's like, we'll just relieve yourself of that burden and hire somebody to do that. Well, we'll call it grunt work, so to speak, so that you can think about the big picture.
Yeah, totally. Like in the beginning, you're going to wear all the hats, right?
Of course.
I know. What's the book? Oh man,
Cat in
I'll
a hat.
never think of the book that I'm thinking of when I want to think about it. Any other time, I could have told you off the top of my tongue.
Yep.
Man, it's by Michael E. Gerber. It's about systemizing your business. Anyway, talks about wearing all the hats, right? So you're
Yeah.
wearing all the hats in the beginning of your plumbing business. You are the technician, you are the CSR, you are the general manager, you are the owner.
Mm-hmm.
And the sooner you get rid of those hats, like the sooner you can afford to get rid of those hats, then get rid of them. Like if you
Right.
don't have to answer your phones, if you're getting regular call volume,
Mm-hmm.
then you're going to be able to afford to hire a CSR. The
Mm-hmm.
money's going to be there because you're going to be going out and doing jobs and billing them, and it's going to pay for your CSR. It's like the cheapest position you can hire out too. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a
Mm-hmm.
good one to start with. And then it just frees up space. And then it's like, okay, I got rid of that hat. Now I'm in this technician hat, right? That's my next thing I want to get rid of. So then
Mm-hmm.
you got to figure out, okay, how many guys do I need billing so that I don't have to be technician anymore?
Mm-hmm.
And then make that plan. Okay, I got to get
Mm-hmm.
this much equipment, this many tools, this many vans, this many guys, which means I need to do this much more marketing so I can get the call volume, so I can book the jobs to keep everybody busy, right?
Yep. Yeah,
So
because
that'd be like your next move. You're thinking, like, I'm pretty sure most businesses, it's probably like 3 or 4 guys billing, and then they can get out of the van.
mm-hmm.
And it's like if you have 3 guys and you're still in the van, then you might as well hire the 4th guy and get out of the van, right?
Sure, because you have enough momentum that
Yeah,
you'll be able to
yeah.
cover it.
Even if you're only busy like half the day or one job
Mm-hmm.
a day, even on average,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that'd still be enough because then you could
Mm-hmm.
pull out of the van and figure out more marketing and keep guys busier.
Yeah, because we can't underestimate. I mean, really, the money making potential of a business exists in the mind of its owner, in the mind of its CEO,
Yep.
and
Yep.
that person is then going to have to free up space in their mind and delegate these tasks to other people, and so they can go focus on other things. Because you can only make
Yeah.
so much money doing the work yourself, but the true money comes in what you can think about when you're not actually having to work.
Yeah. And that happens because nobody else is going to do it. Like,
Yeah, true.
you know what I mean? You as the business owner,
Yeah.
you're the only one that's going to do that. Nobody else is going to do it. Nobody else is going to take that
Mm-hmm.
responsibility. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's a poopy responsibility. So why would they, right?
Well, it's a poopy responsibility, but also their mind is consumed with their own tasks.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
your technician is consumed with doing the technicians, hitting the conversions, doing all the things they need to do. They don't have time for them to be like, "Oh, how can I increase the marketing budget?" Like, they
Right.
wouldn't even think about that. They're not even
Nope.
gonna be like, "How can I like tell my friends about this company so that
Right.
we can get more jobs?" They're just like, "I'm here to do jobs."
Yep.
Because that's where their brain is consumed.
And the thing with that, Joel, like that's a good point because when the business owner is a phone answerer, he's a terrible phone answerer
Yeah.
because he's thinking of all these other things, right? So the
Yeah.
second he can hire that out, man, his company just got way better. Okay.
Yeah.
Because now you can
Yeah.
hire somebody that's
Mm.
all they do and they're really good at it.
Mhm.
Same goes with technicians. When an owner is a technician, you might think you're a really good technician, and maybe you are. Maybe you're the greatest on the planet, like I was. But
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
truth of the matter is, like, when you hire guys, like all my guys are better technicians than I was. Not
Mm.
that they're technically skilled better. Some of them are, but they're way more focused because
Mm.
that's their only job, right?
Mhm.
They are focused on being a technician. When I was a technician in my own business, I was focused on technician, general manager, um, and running a business
Yeah.
owner. Like those were my
Yeah.
hats that I was wearing. So my focus was split, and I just wasn't that good of a technician.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
probably any
Sure.
of my guys that grew with me when, like back when I was still in the van, they'd probably tell you, yeah, he wasn't he wasn't very good.
He
It's a
was
good
always
thing
kind of
he's out of the
scatterbrained
van.
and talking on the phone and like doing these
Yep.
others. Had this faraway look in his eye. It was kind of
Yeah.
weird.
What are you talking about?
I was thinking about something else. Sorry. What are we doing?
Totally, dude.
Yeah. Nope. Those are those are really good
Yeah.
points.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, you have to understand that everybody in your business, whether they say it or not, or whether they even understand it, they would rather you be the business owner because that is going to be within
Yeah.
their best interests. Because then you can
Yes.
actually truly look after their best interests by
Yep.
investing in the pillars to continue
Yeah.
to grow the business, to continue to get customers, to raise wages, all these things that they want. You have to remove yourself from that sort of, so to speak, day to day kind of work to do that.
Yep. Yeah, 100%. And that can be kind of scary for a lot of owners
Mm,
going from maybe scary is the wrong word. They like I remember feeling it when I got 4 guys or 3 guys. Like when I had 3 guys, I was kind of half in the van, half out. And then once I hired my 4th guy, I was like, I'm out. I'm not going back in. And I felt bad that I wasn't out there like working and billing and
yeah.
doing the things that they were doing,
Hmm.
but none of them cared.
Hmm.
Nobody the
Mm,
technicians do
true.
not care. They could care
Uh-huh.
less. They probably like that you're not out there billing
Yeah.
and getting in the
Yeah.
middle of their stuff. Like
Mhm.
one thing that held me back, like I grew fast, right? But it could have gone faster had I like not gotten involved in day-to-day dumb stuff. Like me
Sure.
personally, because I felt bad, then I would be like, "Oh, I need to get involved in here," or for some reason I need to take this very simple thing and make it difficult to make myself feel better about it, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I just ended up making stuff more complicated for no reason
Mm.
instead of letting my highly qualified, very well paid technicians handle it all
Hmm.
because they totally could.
Yeah, you gotta be able to trust that the people you put in those positions can do the job
Yeah.
well enough for you not to have to be there all the time. And I think sometimes that can be intimidating. You can tell me
Yeah.
what you think about this because like this there's almost this idea that like you're almost replacing yourself. So if your value is put in your technician skills and then
Mhm.
suddenly you're trying to find somebody who's better than you to put in that position and you realize they are, there's kind of like a it's kind of like a hey, wait a second. Am I no longer the best at what I do? But you're moving into a different spot that's way more helpful. And it's like,
Yeah.
honestly, if you find somebody who's better than you, awesome. Get that guy in there and let him do the thing
Yeah.
that he's better than you at and then go do other stuff.
Heck yeah,
Because
dude.
he's going to go in there and kill it. And then you can go and do other things in the business that will just make everything else better.
Yep.
Because everybody wants to work with people who are doing really, really good job. Every business owner wants that.
Yeah.
And yeah, so don't be threatened by bringing in talent and putting them in those positions.
Yeah, you definitely should bring in people who are more talented than you at those certain tasks, right?
Mhm.
So in that instance, to get out of the van and bring in somebody who's technicians who are way more qualified than you, that'd be a great move. I will say though, like some some people, well, I guess two things.
Mhm.
If you're the kind of guy that just wants to be a really good technician, then don't start your own plumbing business. Just go be a good technician somewhere
Sure.
else, right?
Mhm.
You have to want to start your own business, not
Mhm.
just to be a one man show, but you need to want to like grow a business and become a business owner.
Yeah, sure.
Like that has to be what you want. Um, and then let's see, what was the what was the other thing I was gonna say? Oh, you know, when you're making that transition of in the van to business owner and you hire these people that are better than you still have to maintain, like, you have to step into that general manager hat. And even though these
Mm.
guys might be better technicians than you have to be a manager. So you have to step into that role 100% and not be
Mhm.
intimidated by these people who
Mm.
are better technicians than you, which
Sure.
doesn't even matter really because you are the general manager, right?
Right, yeah, yeah.
You have to own that spot. So
Mhm.
you can't, like, I know I deal with a couple clients who are they have a hard time like taking ownership of that and realizing
Mhm.
that they still have to be this, like, I want to call it, this strong foundation in their business,
Sure,
right?
yeah,
As the
yeah.
general manager. Um, because otherwise your guys are going to walk all over you. Um, and you're not going to be able to get them to do what you need them to do. So you still have to be that. You really just have to own that role, I guess,
Sure.
is what you need to do, right? Like 100%. No ifs, ands, or buts. Like, this is the way we do things.
Mm.
You're a really good technician. I really appreciate you. I love your skill sets here. This is how we do it at this company. End of
Sure,
story.
sure.
And then just
Yeah,
own it.
yeah, so that's kinda like when you move into that position, you're moving almost into, yes, different skill sets, but you're also moving
Mhm.
into character traits that will now have to carry those different skill sets. Because you have
Yes.
to stand in conviction and belief that you believe in what you're doing and what the company stands for,
Yep.
and so that you can talk to people who are more skilled than you, because that
Yep.
calculation shouldn't even come into your head, because
No.
that's not the purpose. The purpose isn't for you to compare yourself to your coworkers and evaluate skill. The purpose is your role is now to motivate them to achieve the company's ends. And for you to properly do that, you need to be able to sit in a place that you actually believe in these ends to be able to do
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. You really just turn into a leader,
Yes.
is what it is. So you need to
Yes.
be the most skilled leader in the room, not the most skilled
Yes.
technician. Like, leave
Yeah.
the technician
Mhm.
crap behind.
Mhm.
Be the most skilled leader. Like, step up and be the most skilled leader. And when I was there stepping into that, I'm not naturally the most skilled leader. So it was something that, like, I felt a little bit of an imposter syndrome, and I know
Mm.
other guys do too. Like, oh, I'm stepping into this role that I'm not really 100% comfortable with or qualified at. But if that's you, then you need to tell yourself, no, this is my role now and I
Mhm.
have to do it, right?
Mhm.
So you have to go make the personal growth things that
Hmm.
need to happen. You have to go learn how to be a leader, just like you had to go learn how to be a technician,
Mhm.
and you had to
Oh,
learn how to set
sure.
up your business, right? It's the
Mhm.
exact same thing. Now you need to go learn this new skill set, and you need to become the best you can be at it, so that you can be effective at it.
Right. Where would you point guys to start with that? Like if they're struggling with that? Like how do you learn those leadership skills? Where do you start?
I think you can learn the skills, but I think also a lot of that just boils down to confidence. So if you
Mhm.
can go into that with
Mhm.
confidence, your guys will see the confidence. Um, and like for me, like I had to fake that confidence, right? And that's where the
Mhm.
imposter syndrome kind of came in. I wasn't
Mhm.
confident at it, but to
Mhm.
to to just fake it till you make it. Okay, I'm the leader. I'm a confident, competent individual here, and this is how we
Mhm.
do things at my company, and I'm going to hold my guys to it, and here's why. But then also
Mm.
being, you know, willing to go back and say, okay, I made a mistake here. Sorry, guys. This is the new direction we're going.
Mhm.
Like if you can just do that, if you can just be confident in where you're going enough to say, guys, this is where we're going. This is how we do things here. I need you guys to get all on board. This is like just sell them on the dream, be confident in it.
Mm.
I think you're
Mhm.
going to be 10,000 times ahead, right?
Yeah.
If that makes any sense, 10,000 times ahead, whatever that
Yeah,
means.
makes makes sense. It means that you're just gonna be really far ahead. Like, you're gonna be on the path to getting your guys and your company where it needs to go. And so
Yeah.
that kinda comes into this idea that, like, well, if you don't know where you're going, we can probably use words like vision or mission statement even of your company, because those are the
Hmm.
things that you as the business owner, you crafted those, you believe in those, and you
Yep.
when you have these moments of doubt, you go and look at those and like, "Oh, yeah, that's what we're trying to do." And then you can go communicate those values again and try to, like, get stoked on that idea, and then with confidence continue to convince your team if they're not there yet, or continue to encourage them if they are there and they're just losing confidence or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Your job when you step into that role really is like a rally the troops kind of role. Like
Yeah.
you have to come up with a vision of where you're going or what you want to do with your company, and you have to rally the troops around that. And
Mhm.
then you're kind of like refining your systems at that point as well.
Mhm. Yeah,
So
sure,
you're,
to get everybody there.
yep. Yeah. Refining your systems, rallying the troops, getting them on board with your vision, including them in it, and
Mhm.
getting them to
Mhm.
believe in it so that they
Mhm.
can work towards it with you. And that way they're not working against you on something.
Right.
Um,
Because that can
I
really
know
suck.
it does. It really sucks. I know a
Yeah.
lot of people, they'll say, make a dream so big that everybody else's dream fits inside of it. So you can think of it that way. Um, for me, mine was always we're going to be the premier plumbing and heating company in Fairbanks, Alaska.
Mhm.
Like we're going to put all these other plumbing companies to shame.
Mhm.
We are going to have the best service, the best quality techs. We're going to pay you the best. We're going to have the best benefits. We're going to have the best vans, the best tools. We're going to be the best of the best. We're going to
Mhm.
be the best at serving our customers, and we're going to take over the town.
Mhm.
And so that's what I would sell my guys on, right?
Mhm.
Because
Hmm.
that's something they could get behind. And
Mhm.
that's something that, like, because, if you're growing your plumbing business and you're priced properly, you're likely priced on the higher end.
Mhm.
And so if you can rally them behind all that, like we're going to be the best of the best, we're going to take over the town and we're going to give the best service. Um, it gives like a reason for the high dollar amount in your
Sure.
guys' minds,
Sure.
right? Because they don't
Mhm.
understand the business of it. They don't
Right.
understand all your expenses. Even if you tell them, they don't understand and they don't care.
Sure, they're not
Um,
you.
no. So if you can just rally them around that, they'll do just fine. They'll
Hmm.
be like, yeah, we're the best. I work here, so I'm the best technician. I am
Sure.
part of the best technicians, right?
Mhm.
I remember telling my guys all the time, like I would sit them down in our Monday morning meetings and I would tell them, you guys are extremely talented, rare, special, valuable individuals
Mhm.
because of the skills that you have. Like,
Mhm. Sure, yeah, and that's
and
true, 100%
and
true.
because they don't realize it. They don't realize
Mm.
how
Mm.
valuable they are. So if you can show them how valuable they are, um, then they'll feel really good about it, number 1.
Mhm.
But I mean, the truth is, like, they are really, really valuable individuals. How many we've been at it for 2.5 years, hiring like crazy, hiring everybody that walks through my doors. I have 8 technicians right now, and I've hired, I don't know, 25 of them. So 8 of those have enough value to be able to continue to work for us
Mhm.
out of the 25 that we've hired.
Mhm.
Um, and we don't get a regular flow of applicants coming in our door, right?
Mhm.
So these guys are special. Like they're the
Sure.
only ones. None of the
Mhm.
other companies in our area has guys like my guys.
Mhm.
My
Hmm.
guys are top notch, extreme quality. Like they are good dudes inside. They have really
Mhm.
good character, really good skill sets. They're super, super valuable. So if you can
Mm.
show them that, if you can show them how valuable they are, then That's a cool thing. Like they'll rally towards your cause, right? Of being the
Mm,
best of the best. Because they're like, you know what? We
mhm,
are the best. We do fit in here with this company who
mhm,
wants to be the best. We are working towards being the best. Look at all the guys in this room.
mhm.
It's a cool thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Those seems like good words that plumbing business owners should think about when they go and tell their guys. Because I mean, the reality
Mhm.
of the unique skill set of a plumber, like people will just say it. Oh, he's a plumber. He's this, that, or anything. It's like, yeah, dude, but that guy can go into your house and like fix stuff that you would never even understand. Like,
Dude,
especially
yeah.
like in Alaska, like with your boiler system,
Yep.
it's like that's a bomb in my basement,
Dude,
and
just
I'm not
being
gonna go
able.
and mess with it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So just being able to like have the skill set of fixing stuff and be able to talk to a customer, like to be able to communicate and fix stuff and have both of those skill sets together,
Yeah,
and turn them into like one product, that's super rare.
yeah,
Most guys who can fix stuff can't talk to people. Most people who can talk to people are terrible at fixing stuff, right? So like
yeah,
it's this rare combination of skill sets to be a technician, a
yeah,
residential technician, and go and make people happy and enjoy your service and do a good
yeah.
job on their plumbing
Mm,
work. It's a very
mm,
rare skill set in this day and age. It just is. And it's crazy. I don't
hmm.
Part of me wonders like where is that going to stop?
What do you mean?
Like I know we had this conversation the other day and maybe this will make another good podcast would be, we have a limited amount of these guys, right?
Mhm,
Um because it's such a rare skill set and they're just getting paid more and more and more because they're
mm,
so rare. And to get them to come work for me, I have to pay them well. I have to pay them more than the other guys are. Um, and so where's that going to stop? Like our
sure.
service is already expensive and the guys are just getting rarer and rarer as
Hmm,
time goes on.
hmm.
Where's that going to stop? It'd be a good other podcast. Cause I know like the apprenticeship program that I got in, when I got in, there was 200 people applied and they would take 15. Now they need to take 30. So the demand is up and they are only getting like 10 or 15 applicants.
Wow.
So they're not even getting enough applicants to fill the need of being an apprentice. And that's just to go be, work in a building somewhere as on new construction. That's has nothing to do with being a technician. Like out of those 15 over a 5-year span, you might get 2 technicians out of that.
Yeah,
So
that's a good topic. We'll talk about that because that's a big brainstorm session that we can have because that's a
it is.
really key.
It'll be
I
a
mean,
good one.
that's a key question that has huge ramifications if you can't solve that question.
Yeah. So what did we learn on this one?
Well, we learned the steps after you have the very basic bones of your business.
Yeah.
You
Marketing,
get some,
CSR, one of the two
yeah,
or
marketing,
both.
CSR. Start working on your pillars, marketing, conversion. Dude, I got this. I got this. There's two more. I
Marketing,
got this.
conversion, tools, equipment, vans, and then your
Yeah.
team. And then
Yeah.
roll right back into more marketing,
Yep.
more conversions, more tools and equipment and vans, more team members.
Yep. And you hire
Just
team members so that you can free up your brain to focus on the business and its growth and its final destination
yep.
or its projected destination. And then as you're doing that, you need to be thinking about how you can believe in that dream so that you can convince everybody in your company that they're worth it and that they
Yep.
can believe in your dream and that they should be striving towards that excellence.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
Good one,
Cool.
buddy.
Thanks, man.
Okay. See you, Holmes.
See ya.
Hey guys, if you liked that episode and you want to see more content like that, I picked out a special episode just for you. All you got to do is click right here. Go ahead and do it. Just click right there.